G'day guys, welcome to part 2 of the user interface tutorials. So I might as well just jump straight into it. So at the top here, we just went through, if you haven't watched the last one, which I probably recommend you have, we just went through these very top menus, which was up here, the file, edit, assets, and all that jazz. Now we're going to look underneath. So this little square box here is scale. So we want to say I'll create a other, and I got a cube. So we zoom in, which you can use to zoom in with your mouse wheel. Right click is allowing you to look around like so. That's if you hold down the right mouse button. Left click will allow you to bring it up and down. One other little feature I like to do is if you hold down the right mouse click, you can any go WASD or Q and E. E goes up, Q goes down, W goes forward, S goes back, A goes to the left, and of course D goes to the right, which is also known as your first person shooter controllers, which is quite handy to get around the map if you want to get somewhere quicker. So if we click on the box, left click on it, then you click on this little sucker here, you see how the box had changed its icon like so. This is your scaling tool. So say if we click on the blue square here, click on that, see how, notice it highlights yellow now. If you click on that, and you can scale it to the left or the right, and you can see you can just change the shape, which is pretty cool. And so on with your green, turns yellow, goes up and down, which is your y-axis. As you can see up in the top right corner here in the window, you've got your Z, X and Y axis, and this also you can click on, which is pretty cool. Next one you have is your rotate tool, which allows you to obviously, as it states, rotate it around, which is pretty cool. You know, if you need to turn things upside down just because you like to do it for the giggles, why not? That's that tool, so that's pretty self-explanatory. It just allows you to rotate it 360, 180, 45, whatever tickles your fancy, I guess. This little sucker here is your move tool. So as you can see, it's the same as the scale tool. Your different axis, you can move it to the right, from right to left, up and down, and then I guess left to right again, but on the different axis again. So the red is your x-axis, as I said before, so it's moving left and right on the x-axis. This sucker here is the z-axis, is the y-axis, my apologies, which is virtually up and down. Then you've got your z-axis, which is in this case up and down, but usually left to right. So red can be backwards and forth, Z's left to right, Y's up and down. And that's that, and yeah, that's just the hands just to move the objects around. Center is basically where you want the pivot to be placed. So if we go center, which it usually is, say we click on the move tool, we want to change center to pivot, and maybe might work differently. Oh, okay, it doesn't seem like it does anything, but as it says here, this tool handle is placed at the active object's pivot point. So as it states that. Local is tool handles are an active object rotation, so that is determined by the actual object itself. So if you wish to rotate, you can rotate on a global scale, or you can, which would be to the world scale. You can go local, which is to the actual object itself, which will, I don't know how the fancy stuff works with that, but if you wish, I can get back to that on a later date, if you wish. Then in the lovely center here, you have your your play button, which will turn blue like this when there's nothing there. Hit that again to get out of it. You got pause, and your... I've always actually forgot what this button does. And that button there, which I'll get back to you on that one. I've actually never really used this, so I would not actually have a clue. Yeah, so here we've got texture. As you can see, it's got textured wireframe, textured wire, render paths, and light map resolution. These are the different views you can actually view your scene in. So if you have a wireframe, as you can see here, it just got rid of the grey that the box was, and it's just given me literally the wireframe, which is just the outline of the box. Or we can go textured wide, which would be both. So I have the color of the box, and it will give me the wireframe as well. Then we got render paths, and then you also have light map resolutions, which is to do with lights and stuff. We'll go back to texture, and then RGB, alpha, and all that. That just basically changes the look of it. But usually don't worry about even touching that. Just keep it on RGB, and you'll be fine. These three buttons here basically toggles the lighting, so you can see now it's just there's nothing pretty much. It just goes grey, which, as I say, so toggles the built lighting on and off, the inbuilt lighting. Then you've got skyboxes, fog, lens flare, and effects. So you can toggle that on and off. It's just basically a bit more cleaner, make depending on different views, or if you want to just make things easier to see in your scene, which is this area here. And then you got this little last one, which is just toggle on audio and toggle it off. Gizmos. Gizmos are when you put in different... When you start getting into it more, you get like little icons on your screen, like this icon here, which is your audio source. You can actually tick them off in the scene so it doesn't clutter it so much, so it's just the object solidly, sorry. Or particle systems, they'll have this little icon here. You can actually tick them off like so. So we say audio source, tick that. Now that won't pop up anymore, the actual icon, but we'll leave that on for the time being. And here we can just search stuff that's in the scene, which is pretty cool. Like, say we've got cube here, typed in cube, bam, found the cube and the game scene itself, and that's it there. Or if you go, yeah, and then we have here, which are just the tabs. You can add tabs and so on. And that is the top half of this thing. The menu UI, I should say. Next I will go into the windows themselves. So till part 3, thank you, enjoy.